Hello, everyone. This is Nasir Qureshi, a Realtor Daddy with Texas Signature Realty. We are bringing you another great episode of Wisdom Wednesday, as promised and on demand, bringing you good content and good value to our viewers. And today we have an honor to have Miss Yeimi with us. Yay! Thank you for being with us. How are you?
I'm wonderful today. Nazir, thank you so much for having me on and allowing me the opportunity to speak with your viewers. So thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic. I know we've been trying to get you on the show for a while. You are very busy and you are very known in the community. So it's good to have you here. So how's your day going?
Today's good. Today's good. Worked on a handful of new interior design projects that I'm excited to come see into fruition soon. And was looking ahead and planning for my content for the next couple of months. I'm so glad that we've been connected. And then when you said, "Hey, let's do it," and it's like, okay, let's go ahead and make it happen.
Good, good.
I appreciate it again to the
Yes.
opportunity to have me on.
So tell our viewers, current and the future, that who is Miss Yemi?
Yeimi. Yeimi is kind of a creative. Really, my focus has been within construction. I've been a part of renovations and I've also been part of new construction where we're planning ahead for clients. I have a passion for kitchen design, bathroom design, and just overall cohesiveness of the home, making sure that it's a good feeling space. So I've been in construction for 10 years now. My past is in insurance, but I really love the industry. And as a creative, I've gotten to be involved in styling and staging of model homes, selecting products like, why choose granite over quartz or for the right type of client, right? It just depends on the use of each person. And I've also been involved in graphic design. And so that has led me to my own personal project that maybe we'll get to talk about.
Mhm.
And I have a little mock up here to kind of discuss it later. But as a creative, I've kind of just been able to deep dive into a lot of different facets that allow clients or homeowners to really visualize what's going on in a project. So, being able to not just coordinate and, order materials and look at pretty things, but also making sure that the client is happy along the way and they can, whatever we planned in that design aspect, seeing it come to construction, come to fruition, that's great.
So how did you get involved in what you do? When was that moment that when the bulb went on?
So, I left, I was in insurance and I knew somebody that had their own insurance, their own construction company. His name is Shadi Toucan. Shout out to Shadi because he definitely opened my eyes to how amazing the construction industry was and how much kind of creative liberties and the ways that we can influence and be creative within this industry. So I really appreciate him kind of bring me onto his team. Um, and he's continued to grow his team since then. But then I ended up going to another company where I was a project manager for 4 years. I was involved in homes that were completely destroyed by Hurricane Harvey. And I was on part of the team to help redesign, relay out, make sure that it's a better use for the homeowners. Um, and then I moved into new construction where I'm kind of focusing more on what clients will want to have in 6 months to 12 months from now and making sure that I'm working with the home builder to really create cohesive packages that are going to be kind of on trend and ahead of trend sometimes, which is a little nerve wracking when you're putting something together with not really the client in front of you yet, but you're designing with the hopes of who's going to buy that. And so I've had kind of a few different hats in that last decade, but for the most part, it's just being able to like help support and advise and help and just bring those projects to completion. It's
Okay.
really fun. Mm-hmm.
So at what time a homeowner or home builders should contact you, like at at the time either they're about to build something new from ground zero up, or also an existing homeowners that they want to retouch or remodel or uplift, give a facelift to their house?
I've been so lucky that between my years in construction, I've been involved in both. I've been involved in both. So for the person that's doing a renovation project and just needs to like see their kitchen, like what would it look like if they updated the cabinets and the countertops, but how does that look like within the space? I can help create visuals to help support that with whatever it is that they want, or I can help pick with them whatever makes the most sense for the home. And then in new construction, yeah, I've been really lucky that I've been on part of a team where the architect gives us the floor plans and I can put everything together thereafter. So if I'm working on floor plans and somebody doesn't want to touch it at all, it's like, okay, well, I'll pick your flooring, I'll pick your carpet, I'll pick the cabinets, da 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 da. And these are the visuals and what it's going to look like at the end. And it really helps people make very hard decisions. And people can get really overwhelmed with everything that comes into a project like that. So it's kind of nice to have somebody that can support you through that has done it for so long. So in my past, I've worked with homeowners, I've worked with realtors that are trying to put listings on the market and are like, hey, we need to get this done. So I've kind of had the very good luck of being able to handle a lot of different types of clients and projects.
And you're able to do that for the interested parties and clients across the nation, correct? Just not limited to where we are, Houston, Texas.
I'm so sorry. My particular expertise is within Texas. And most of my work has been in Houston, so I'm sorry about that. I did recently collaborate on a project in Austin, and that was really fun.
Excellent, excellent. So what drives you to do what you do? It sounds like, I know, following you on a social media, and you are very passionate and outgoing, and what drives you for what you do?
I don't want to get to an age where I'm on my deathbed and then I say I regret not doing something. My drive is I want to feel life and I want to really enjoy it in all of the little aspects. And so because I get very involved with everything I do, it makes me really happy. So part of that drive is also like I guess maybe self-accomplishment, or like being able to just be able to be busy and be creative. But that's kind of the drive is like, I last year, council member Robert Gallegos, he wanted to run for mayor and I ended up assisting on his marketing campaign. And so I really connected with him because he also was saying, hey, I really want to be able to say that I've tried and put out my best efforts in life, and that you can walk away with no regrets. So that's kind of my drive and why I've been able to kind of dabble in so many things. The curiosity of experiencing the different aspects of life, I guess.
Excellent. So tell us about your project or your magazine that you've been working on, please.
Yes, thank you, thank you. I am really excited. I've been putting this together for about a year now. And the idea or concept is that I often get asked, Yeimi, how would you style this? I just bought my house and it's overwhelming. I can't think of everything I need. I personally moved myself recently and had to go through the process for my own apartment of, okay, what is the style? What is the vibe that I want? And so people find that really overwhelming. And so I started compiling. A lot of times people would ask me for specific looks. And so then I just started compiling the different looks per interior design style. So for anybody that wants to know, I break down what does that mean? What is modern interior design? What are some key elements and what are you really looking for?
Right.
And then I allow the opportunity for somebody to see how I would buy everything for a bedroom and living room. And then of course, people look through this right away. I've had the mock-up available and I've been able to share it with close colleagues. And people right away are like, oh, I love that. Send me the link for that. And it's like, okay, well, the link's right there. Just scan the QR code and it'll take you to the link. And so it makes this level of shopping pretty easy for people, whether they just kind of want one singular item or whether they're looking for an entire, space. It makes the shopping to the specific style very simple to follow. And so somebody has a more cleaner aesthetic that doesn't like dark furniture. So then there's a room for that. And so I try to make it very, very simple, and I'm still adding to it. Uh, you know, the work is never done. So I'm still
Mhm.
adding to it, but I will have a free downloadable PDF for your viewers. This is the first time I'm sharing it and first time I'm launching it as a free downloadable PDF. The hard copies will be released later this year, but that will be your first dibs into getting a peek into everything that I'm working on. I also am really passionate about plants, if you can't tell. So I've given like
Yes,
tips on how to care for home plants and how to choose the right one for you. And as somebody who isn't born in Houston but has lived here long enough, I also share some like secret hideouts and things to do for free and things that are going on because people often ask me like, "Oh, do you know if there's something fun to do?" And so that's just some extra little tidbits of information that I am sharing with everybody.
excellent. Thank you so much. And I for this, this is a really good honor to be able for our viewers to download this as a free PDF, ebook, or e-magazine. I will make sure that that's very nice and kind of you. So you also, I noticed that you like to travel, right?
I love traveling. It's
Yes,
definitely enjoyable to get to see and experience other cultures and other corners of the world. And Mother Earth is so beautiful. So
it
it's
is. It is.
really nice to be
I
able to
agree.
see.
And like, what you want to share? Where recently that you travel? What was your experience? Could
Oh,
you
okay.
elaborate that on a
I
little bit?
My last vacation was with a group of my friends. It was 10 of us that took a cruise out to Belize this year. And oh my gosh, that was so much fun. I, first of all, had never been on a cruise. And so that was incredibly fun. Belize, the island, was absolutely beautiful. I love being on a beach with the palms, the beautiful air. So I really enjoyed that. My next trip is to be determined. No, well, I have a girls' trip to Boston later this year. I have a
Okay.
friend of mine that's getting married, and so then that'll be like a local trip. And then I'm planning. I'm still open to what experiences come next, and so I have a long list of places I want to travel to, and so we'll just see what next year holds. But yeah, Belize was this year. What about you? What do you like traveling? Where was the last place you went?
Yes, excellent. I do like traveling. I like the Europe a lot, and I do want to go to Belize, and I had great experience and in Europe and Belize. That's something that I would like to go and check out.
Exciting. I
Yeah,
haven't been to Europe yet. France and Spain are on my list.
fantastic. It is, yes. So, any advice or tips that you would like to give to real estate agents when it comes to preparing a house for showing or or sorry for the listing or to bring up some better value or looks? Any some quick tips or suggestions from you, please?
Yeah. So first of all, I'm sure everybody knows the obvious tidy up, removing any personal items from the homeowners. Now, I've been really surprised that in a pinch, refreshing a space, if it's very outdated, you don't have to replace the heavier pieces of furniture. But if there's a small budget for a refresh, you can do a lot with $1,000 to $2,000 that will really bring a space up to date. Things like adding plants, adding fresh pillows, fresh decor like blankets, just to have a cohesive theme around the house. That's a big one too that I kind of use as a rule of thumb is trying to have your accent color be similar throughout the house to make sure that nothing feels too out of place. There's some simple things that people can do, like painting. to just get things up to date. But sometimes people get a little bit more involved and want to replace countertops or tile, even updating a pendant lighting, and things like that. Depending on what it is, if it's simple and cosmetic, then it can be done relatively fast and under fairly tight budget. So it depends on what kind of budget the client has available for renovations. If you just can get away with styling versus doing major renovations. And sometimes actually for the cost of both, if you do update the styling, then the client can keep that stuff with them into the next project, and so it doesn't just go into the house and get their funds tied up in that. So I kind of like that idea sometimes, that you can update styling as opposed to going through a full reno in a home.
And when someone wants to contact you, how do they contact you? Please feel free to give your contacts or your social media. Please go ahead. We'll put that
so
also on those descriptions. Yeah.
I am very easy to find. You search Yeimi Antonini on any platform, you will find me. I'm actually not on Twitter or X, but otherwise I'm on every platform, and it's just my name. I'm the only Yeimi Antonini in America that I'm aware of. And so I'm fairly easy to find. You Google my name and it's like all my pictures, and I'm available. But Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok, and I'm on there quite often. So I like connecting with realtors if they just want to stay in touch and kind of be up to date. I share a lot of the behind the scenes process of when I'm doing like 3D rendering and modeling, to kind of show people what the thought process is, and give you like a little peek behind the curtain. So I love connecting. A lot of my network is realtors. So by all means, please reach out to me, connect with me. And by all means, if in the future there's a question that comes up where you think, hey, she would be a good resource, I'm here. I'm here to help.
Yeah, that's excellent. Thanks for sharing. And I'm gonna go ahead also put some of your contact, their social media descriptions in the description section of the video.
Yes.
So myself being a multilingual, it always intrigues me and it interests me, people's last name or the names in general. So I agree, you do have, I'm a very well-traveled person myself around the world. You do have a very special name. So tell us a
Yes.
little bit about your name and where that name came from, and what other languages do you speak besides English?
Besides English, I speak Spanish fluently. And I speak a little bit of Portuguese and just a tiny bit of French. I studied it in high
Okay.
school, but I haven't practiced it since then. My name is actually kind of a funny little story. Um, my dad was infatuated with Jamie Summers, the actress that played Bionic Woman. And so, but Jamie in English, he sounded it out because he didn't speak English. So he sounded it out, and that's how you get Yeimi. It's the phonetical way to write Jamie in English. And so that's fun. My ex-husband is Italian, so he gave me the last name Antonini. But otherwise, I'm not Italian.
I see. Well, thanks for sharing that. So I know you also like, or do you like to read books or write books, or I think we talked a little bit about that.
Yes, yes. And so, besides the magazine project, I have been working steadily on writing a children's book. I initially started with the inspiration because my brother just had a baby. And so I've been really pushing so that I can read this book to my little nephew. But the book storyline itself, I conceived the plot of it maybe about 3 years ago. So it was before my nephew came around, and I had this idea of the concept of Noah's Ark as it exists within the Christian Bible. But what if Noah's Ark wasn't a boat? What if instead it was a spaceship? And he went around and collected every specimen from across the globe and then brought everybody together to Earth to create this beautiful tapestry that we now know as Earth. And so I'm kind of giving it away a little bit, but it's a fun kind of theoretical kids book that is just kind of fun. But I'm working to hopefully publish it this year.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to that. And so what
And
is
you've
your,
written books. You're a bestseller, so
yes. Yeah, I like books. So I like to read and write, you know. So writing
yeah.
books is my hobby. So what is your go-to uh, restaurant or food, kind of food that you like? What is your go-to place?
My go-to place. I love mod pizza. I
Mod
love mod
pizza.
pizza. Yeah, and I add pesto sauce to my pizza every time.
Oh,
Pesto
really?
and mushroom. Yeah, so I definitely modify the mod pizza. But yeah, it's a very good pizza. Besides that, I like testing out a lot of places. You know, Houston is a great hub for cuisine. Um, so you could probably have a new restaurant every single time and still have plenty of places to go. But yeah, what about you? Your favorite restaurant?
My favorite restaurants, well, I like different kinds of food, Indian, Pakistani, Mediterranean, steaks, different things like that. I really I do like that. So very
Mm-hmm.
open-minded and
Mm-hmm.
so tell me that how do you see yourself in next 5 years in terms of interior designing and construction and how the people can contribute to accomplish that and help you as a community?
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. I am really lucky that I've been able to work on a lot of like projects that were like dream goals for me. And so I'm starting off now at this phase of my life with a little bit of a clean slate in that I'm very receptive to projects that come in. Because it's like earlier this year, I went skydiving, right? And so it's like, okay, check that off the list. So it's like, okay, now I got to add something else on the list. Now I got to create more room for new experiences. Uh, Personally, there's a lot of different ways that I could go, but as long as I stay in construction and stay doing design, I think it'll be great. Because I feel like I have found my ikigai. It's like, what are you good for? What does society need? And what can you actually contribute and make a living off of? And I feel like I've have found that through creativity and through supporting people in construction projects.
Fantastic. So we're getting close to our timing. So one quick question that I always ask to
Yeah.
all our special guests is one like final takeaway or very best advice that our special guests can give to the people or to the world or to the younger generation.
Mm-hmm.
One golden piece of nugget that you can give
Mm-hmm.
to the younger generation generally
Yes.
about the life, what would that be?
Passion goes a long way. And when you find something that sparks your interest, sparks your fun, sparks your passion, deep dive into that, even if it's as a hobby, because I have seen over the years that things that I would work on in my personal time ultimately ended up being skill sets that supported me throughout my career. And so I would say to look at life with curiosity and that there's a lot of information available to continue your growth, you know, even beyond university and college, and like always be hungry to learn more because there's always room for growth.
What a great advice. And definitely, you have so much to offer to the people, to the community, to the real estate industry, and to everybody else. What a great personality that you have. And
Thank you, Nazir. Thank you.
yeah, and this one little short episode is does not do justice to have you on time. We'll check with you again, and when and if you are available in the near future, we would love to have you again.
I'd love
And
to be back. Yeah.
yes, and I want to thank you so much for your time. We were and share about you and what you do. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Nazir. Thank you. I appreciate your time as well.